Hey guys, welcome back. I am very excited because I am doing a three-part series of dupe product. A dupe product is a product that works the same or very similar to a higher end brand's product. I am not going over contour, bronzer, blush, highlighter, any of those just yet. That is actually going to be in my part 2. And then my part 3 is going to be specific to eyes. So it's going to be eyeshadow primer, eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, all of those fun things are going to go into that video. So if you want to see more of this face, keep watching. And if you want to see my other 2 dupe videos, as well as my awesome stuff that I have planned for you, I have challenge videos, I have tutorials, I have all of this stuff. If you want to see any or all and any and all or all, if you want to see any of it, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. It's the big red one that said subscribe in it. And then definitely make sure to hit that little bell next to it to be alerted every time I upload a video. I would appreciate that very much. I appreciate every single person that even watches my video. So anyways, if you want to watch me put all of this stuff on my face, let's get right into it. All right. Hey, so we are going to get into these dupe products. I did already tone my face. I don't have a dupe for that. So if you want to know what I use to tone my face, go check out my skincare video. I will link it down below. So the next step in my routine is going to be my moisturizer, and I'm going to use the Garnier Moisture Rescue Gel Cream. This retails for $6.69 at Target, and I think I got mine at Walmart, but I think it was a little bit more expensive at Walmart, so get it at Target. That is one thing. I'm going to take off my ring here. That is one thing I've learned through all of this, is that Target is actually really cheap, and they have really good makeup. So the dupe for this, or this is a dupe for the Tatcha water cream, which retails for $68 at Sephora. And Tatcha is a very prestigious skincare brand, so it makes sense that it would be so expensive. But I've heard and read that this is actually a really good dupe for it, and I'm not about to spend $68 on something that I can spend $7 on for, the same value, basically, or for the same benefits. Let's go with benefits. So I don't know why I keep throwing this. Okay, so here is that. I just rubbed that all over my face. My face is feeling moisturized, but I do have really dry skin, so I also like to go in with a primer serum. This is the e.l.f. Glow Up Primer Serum. This retails for $10 from elfcosmetics.com. And while I rub this in, I will again talk about the product. This is a dupe product for the Hourglass N28 Primer Serum. So that is a product that is $65 at Sephora. So this is obviously quite a bit cheaper, and this is one of the products that I read online is a dupe. So this really works to moisturize my skin, and it does have a little bit of some shimmer in it, but once you get it on the skin and get it rubbed in like I just did, and also rub down the neck, once you get it rubbed in, you can't really see the shimmer at all, so it's really good. Very moisturizing. It does get just a little bit tacky, which is awesome for foundation to go over the top of. So while this sits, I am also going to reach for one more primer. This is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. This retails for $8, again, off of the e.l.f. Cosmetics website. I know that this is actually one that Jeffree Star did there you go. Jeffree Star did a side-by-side comparison between this and the Tatcha Putty Primer. And the Tatcha Silk Canvas Putty Primer is $52. I believe this is a little bit less product, but I mean, you cannot beat, you know, the difference in price there. So I just like to take a little bit, rub it on my really porous, the really porous places on my face. It is actually pretty moisturizing as well. And then don't laugh, I got into a habit of putting it up here. I don't know that it actually does anything, but I do have a wrinkle up there, and I'm a little sad about it. I'm 27, I should not have a wrinkle already, but I try to fill it in with my Poreless Putty Primer. So again, this is $8 versus $52 for the other product. So next we are going to jump right into concealer. This is actually one of the products that I have, both the cheaper and the high end. This is the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer. This is $7 at Ulta versus the Tarte Shape Tape, which is $27 at Ulta. So let me get into here. This one is actually almost out, so I really like using it. They're both a thicker concealer. They both do basically the same thing. They cancel out dark circles really well. And this is a dupe that I had seen all over, really. Again, this is another one that Jeffree Star really likes. So that is how I got hooked using it. And I am honestly obsessed with it. So, and also, I will touch on the sponges. This is a Jeffree Star Morphe collab sponge. I feel like it works really, really well for getting into the small places here underneath your eye. I do like this one. The Real Technique sponge is my dupe for the sponges, and this is $5.12 at Walmart for one sponge. It is actually a dupe for the Beauty Blender, which is $20 at Sephora, I believe. I've actually never owned one. This is another one that I've heard wonders about and haven't even bothered spending $20 on a Beauty Blender if I'm going to get this sponge. And don't judge me, it's very dirty. I need to clean it, I know. But so this is a really good sponge I really like. Like I said, this is $5.12. The Jeffree Star Morphe collab sponges, I believe it was $16 for two of these smaller ones, and then one bigger one this size, but this shape. So that would also be a really good dupe. So, speaking of sponges, that was a lot of S's. Anyways, speaking of sponges, we are going to use that to put on our foundation now. Our dupe foundation. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. You can get this at Target for $12. It's actually more expensive at Ulta. I think it's like $14 or $15 at Ulta. So definitely go to Target for this one. And I actually read that this is a spoiler, oh my goodness, been watching too much Game of Thrones stuff. This is actually a dupe for the MAC Studio Fix Foundation, which is $30 at Ulta. So definitely a really good price difference. It's like a third of the price. I do have two shades that I actually mixed together to make a good shade for me. And I do that on my glass palette here. And here is my shade match. I think it's a pretty good match. It may not be 100% perfect, but once I bronze it a little bit, it works. So I'm just going to go in with my finger and look honestly as crazy as possible. So get my war face on. One thing I really like about this foundation, and the reason I really hardcore started to use it, is I, as you can probably see a little bit, have a bit of redness, and this really helps to cover up redness. So now my face looks really washed out, and I only have a couple more products left that I'm doing for this base. So the Laura Mercier setting powder is supposed to be the #1 powder out there on the market. It is $39 at Sephora, and it is supposed to be amazing. I do have 2 dupes for this. One of them I have heard everywhere, and one of them I've only heard recently, but I think it's a new product, so that's probably why. The only weird thing to me is I'm not 100% sure how both of these can be dupes if they're so different, and I'll show you why. The first one is the Coty Airspun Loose Powder. This powder is a drier powder. It does have a very strong smell, so just be aware that you're gonna have to be okay with smell. The fragrance reminds me of powdery grandma. Like you took grandma and you threw her in some flour, and there's the smell of Coty Airspun. But it is a very good powder to use. I do really like it. This is one that I definitely use a big fluffy brush for. This is one I got in my BoxyCharm. This is the Aesthetica P12. I really like this brush for all over powder. The main issue I have with this one is it's really drying. So obviously everywhere where I put all those primers and moisturizers, it's totally fine. Whereas under my eyes, it is not so great. So to counteract that, I have the second dupe product, which is the L'Oreal Hydra Perfecting Powder. And as it suggests in the name, it is not a dry powder. It is actually like a silky powder that when it goes on, you feel hydrated where you put it. And so I actually can and have used this all over the face before as well. For the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and use both. Not sure if I mentioned price. This is $5.97 at Target, at Walmart for the Coty Airspun. And then this is $8.97 at Walmart for the L'Oreal. So go back in with our sponge, and I just take my little sponge and I'm just going to go on and around the eye. Just like that. And then for the Coty Airspun, I literally just tap my brush in it, and then I swirl it around in here. That way it distributes the powder into the brush, so I'm not just caking on bits of powder all over my face. So that is my main base. I will zoom you in just a little bit so you can see a little bit. Obviously this is not a full face yet. It's still a little flat because I would need bronzer, blush, all of that. So again, I'm gonna zoom you in really quick. All right, so this is an extreme close-up, but hopefully you can see how good my under eyes look from having that powder and that concealer on there. How good my skin looks. You can still see just a little bit of redness, but for the most part it's all covered up. And this is definitely a layerable foundation, so if you wanted to do another layer on top of this, if you didn't feel like it was full coverage enough, this is definitely a good medium coverage, and then you could definitely add some more coverage on top of that. Alright, thank you so much for watching that video. If you liked this, if you like the idea of dupe products and reviews on them, please let me know. Hit the thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, what you want to see from me in the future. I definitely have a lot of really cool stuff planned. I really hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.